tonight I just wanted to just to bring awareness to the parents out there who may be watching my videos and who are in need of support for how to get their child to cooperate with going to bed, as an example, or the bedtime routine. It helps, first of all, to have structure and rhythm, direction, and understanding. So, if your child is resisting going to bed, it helps to have understanding of what their real resistance is, um, why they're not wanting to cooperate. So, when you listen for understanding and you help them, you reassure them that you understand what is important to them and what their underlying needs are behind their resistance, their need for safety, their need for more playtime, their need for, um, you know, more um, food or candy or something, their need for more time on their phone or watching TV. Um, there's a lot of reasons that kids give for not wanting to go to bed. But when you listen for understanding to them and you reassure them and you let them know you understood what their needs are, I understand it's really important for you to play more or for you to be able to watch TV, and finish watching that show. Or it's really important for you to be able to, um, you know, have more time on the phone with your friends or more time reading your book or whatever they're doing, listening to your music, playing that video game. Um, but right now, it's time for us to go to bed. And so then you're giving them the reassurance that you did actually understand what their need is, and then you're redirecting them to what you actually want them to be doing by saying, "Now it's time for us to go to bed. Please, will you help by getting in bed now?" So then you ask first instead of just demanding that they do something, like a lot of people do. It's time to get in bed now. Get in bed or else blah blah blah. There's always something that they feel they have to add in to their request, um, you know, of getting in bed. They add in or else blah blah blah. You're not going to be able to do this or that or whatever. This is going to happen and blah blah blah. And then they may give reasons and explanations. Well, giving reasons and explanation for things when your kid is resisting you doesn't help. It gives them all your power. So the less explaining and the less reasoning you do with them at that point, the better off you're going to be. You'll keep your power, you'll keep your position as the one who's the leader, and you'll you'll have more success with getting them to cooperate because you give them less to argue with you about. When you over explain things or give details, too much details about it, um, or over um, you know just give too many reasons or whatever trying to explain it, your justification for it, um, then that doesn't work very well. So for positive assertive communication with them, which is what they respond to best, and as a strong leader, what is required is for you to just redirect them by asking, honoring them as an individual, honoring them in a way that makes them feel like, oh, I have a say in this. So I do have a say. And that's really what a lot of their resistance is about in the first place, is not being asked first, but just ordered around. Like, maybe they're in the military or something, and maybe they don't have needs and they're not important to you. That's what ordering people around does. So, in some people's minds, that's what it does. So, they don't want to cooperate very much. And they resist you a lot more. So, but if you ask nicely, please, will you help by getting in bed now instead of doing this, and then you can do this tomorrow. Um, let's put it away now and let's go to bed. Let's is a thing, when you use the word let's go do this, wording it that way, let's do something, is it really works well for young children, like especially toddlers and young children, like up to the age of 5 maybe. That's the time to use the word let's. But if they're older, more mature, beyond the age of 2 to 5, then, or birth to 5, then you would say, please, will you go to bed now? So, because when children are younger, they like to, they need you to go do it with them. But maybe after the age of 5, you don't do that with them as much, or whatever. They're more independent. And they need that consideration and that respect from you, of them as an independent individual, separate from you. They know themselves that way then. And so they need you to respect them then by asking, will you please go do this? And so, anyway, just asking them can make a really big difference in your ability to gain their cooperation. And also, asking using good manners, saying please and thank you when they do. So whenever your child is resisting and you ask them using good manners, saying please, will you, this is another key phrase to use to get the cooperation you want quicker, is to say will you instead of can you. Please, will you go get in bed now? Instead of saying please, can you do this now? That's like passive behavior. That's a passive way of asking. It's not really firm. It's not very assertive. So there's passive and there's aggressive, and then assertive is the middle way. Assertive is asking using the word will you. So because that applies their will when they say yes or no. When you ask them, can you? Well, that means something very different than will you. Can you? Yes, I can do that. But will I? I don't know. I don't really feel like it. So, so that's why you don't want to use the word can you, because of course they can. And maybe sometimes they can't because of a certain thing. They're disabled and they need your help or something. But so, obviously you have to tailor it to their needs. But you want to always be deliberately asking with the words will you. Okay, and then from there you focus on the behavior that you really want. Will you get in bed? And so your focus is on what you're wanting and what you would love for them to do instead of what you don't want. So you don't give a lot of attention or put a lot of negative emotion on what they're doing that you don't like or that you don't want them to do anymore. You just simply ask for what you need using the right verbiage. It's not what we're asking, it's how we ask that makes a big difference in people's ability and willingness and readiness to cooperate. It's always about how we do things. It makes a difference in the short run and the long run. It will affect them for years to come how you ask. So this is a way to ask them that will, if you're consistently asking in this way for, what it's worth, it works pretty much right away because they feel respected by you. First of all, they understand that they are a unique individual that's separate from you, and that they are independent They have the ability to choose for themselves then, about some things. And so whether or not to cooperate with you is one of those things. So you want to make it easy for them. And to make it easy for them, asking using good manners, because that's how you want them to be asking you for things, with good manners, I'm assuming. And so if that's how you want them to treat other people as well, with good manners. So they're going to follow your lead and your example of how you ask for what you want from them and from others in the house, or people that you spend time with. So you have to be consistent, not just with your children using this new way of asking, but with everybody that you know, because this works not just with children, it works with everybody at any age. So just keep that in mind too. It could work really big miracles with your spouse, if you start respecting them and using this with them too. So it also works with pets really well, with dogs, cats, anything. They respond very well with this too. So, because we all have that underlying need of being seen and heard and understood, and that automatically reduces our stress levels. It automatically reduces our resistance then too, because we're not trying so hard anymore to get what we really need. And so, anyway, then if they're still resisting you, here's step 2: listen for understanding and nurture the needs. So, you can say, well, um, you know, maybe I'll go into more details about this in another video, because I want to keep this short. And this is just step 1. But I want you to practice just this one thing over the next week and just see how you deal with it and how that works for you to get the cooperation you want quicker. All right? So thank you so much, and I hope that you have success with this. And if there's any other questions that you have, if there are any other problem areas that you're having with your children and you'd like to leave a comment below to ask me a question about that particular thing, something you would like me to share tips about for how to do better or different, that would get more of what you're wanting with your children, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have in another video. So thank you so much for being here today, friends. Joining me tonight is, especially for those who have parents, but even those who don't, you can still learn from this, because it will still work with your own inner children, first of all, and second of all, with anybody in your life, your pets, your family, your parents, your neighbors, your colleagues. It works with anybody and everybody. So whoever is watching, thank you for being here. And I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.